Hi everybody, it's Sherry with Studio 28E and I'm here to bring you my latest digital kit. I printed it out to use it before I decided that I was going to show it on my YouTube channel. So what you see is a mixture of, I did some tea or coffee staining and some eco-dyed paper. So you'll be seeing a mixture of those two papers as well as the white paper. So when you print them off, you can print them off on tea stain paper or whatever, and you'll see that just pick it's your personal preference. And my printer is picky about putting in anything but white paper. It doesn't always like the tea stained or the eco dyed paper. So, but I wanted to add some of it to this journal that I'm going to make. So it's called The Beauty of Nature. It's a travel sized journal or journal kit. Its size is 4 1/4 by 10 1/4. There's enough room where it can be trimmed down some. There's 18 journal pages and 4 pages with ephemera, envelopes, tags, etc. And the theme is obviously nature. There are birds, florals, butterflies, trees, bees, honey, that type of thing. And I'll add it below the link. I'll add my YouTube link below this video, as well as other ways that you can reach me. And I have a Facebook group. You might want to stop over and check us out. It's Studio 20E at Studio 20E Journal Creations. So I'll point out the pages that I actually printed on either eco-dyed paper or tea stain paper. I think I used all eco-dyed, but I'm not sure. This is a page from the kit. It's got the birds on it with the grate. Here's some green, I guess I thought they were green grapes, but there's a little bit of purple on them. So maybe they're purple grapes that haven't ripened yet with these designs. All the designs that I used, all the graphics came from the Graphics Fairy. I'll put her link below as well. Now this is a page that's been printed on eco-dyed paper, and so it's a little dark, and there's lace behind it, and there's notes to represent the bird songs and birds on branches here. And you can see the back side of the eco-dyed paper. There's a leaf here, and there's part of a leaf there, and I believe this is part of a flower. This is a page printed on white paper, and it's a ledger sheet with some musical notes and several birds, and these birds are on a twig with some blossoms. And I've added some color in the center. This page is also printed on just printer paper. I used 28-pound paper. It's got some cherries on a branch, the bird I'm calling them cherry blossoms. And down here are some bird buttons that were also from the Graphics Fairy, and I made a border out of that. And it has the lace, and I don't know if they show up, but there's writing lines on this sheet. There's another eco-dyed page. It's got birds in the nest and some birds here on some apple blossoms. And it's got, the background is like a distressed or old page that's been torn up a little bit. And there's room for writing or pictures or whatever you choose. And here's the back side of that, and you can see the leaves. There's another ledger sheet, and it's got some little bluebirds on it. And I'm not sure if the Graphics Fairy had this listed as borders, or I'm not sure what she called them, but they came, and I kind of distorted them and shaded out some of the edges, smoothed them out so they wouldn't look like just a piece of square fabric or paper. And it added dimension to the sheet of paper, as well as some interest. This sheet is printed on white copy paper as well. It's got the torn sheet behind it. These are columbines, and I don't know what the technical or botanical word for these are, but we call them cone flowers, or corn flowers, I'm sorry, because they grow on the side of the road next to the cornfields. So I don't know if they're known as that as well, or if that's just something, we've carried with us. I don't know. And this is like a newspaper print behind that. And here we have like a graph paper with basket weave behind it, and then some splotchy colors. It's kind of neutral. This can be used as a back sheet or whatever, and it's printed on white paper. Here's another printed on printed on eco dye paper. Sorry about that. And I'll show you the difference. This one's been printed on copy paper, and so it doesn't look as vintagey. This one's got berries and admission tickets and a tag and whatnot, a soap label. There's the back of this, and there are some leaves here and there. This is a book plate, Mysteries of Keeping Bees, and I put the cornflower in the middle, and here's a big bumblebee I added, and this is a separate element. It's the honeycomb, and I'm not sure if these bees were with the honeycomb. I'm pretty sure they were. I think these two bees were with the honeycomb. And that's printed on the white. And this is printed on white as well. It's got that basket kind of trim graphic. And then there's some writing, like penmanship behind it. And there's a little bit of blue in there. And these are Japanese trees. I'm not sure what they're called though. This one is in bloom. This one has not come into full bloom. And I added some flowers and some grass below that. And two little birds there. And I did this leaf border. Here's a honeycomb that I placed on this page of like torn paper. These birds are on the branch with the flowers, and I made little bees go up, like they're all going up to the flowers for nectar. And here's a label for hive syrup, alcohol, 0.9%. It's from the Oakland Pharmacy in Oakland, Maryland. It's a vintage. Here's another page that's been eco-dyed. It's got tags on it, mission ticket, an advertisement, and of course the birds, and there's berries, strawberries, and I'm not sure what those are, currants I think, and blackberries and blueberries. And there's the back of this eco-dyed paper. If you look carefully, you can see the leaves. And there's a flower here. It's a clematis, I think it's called. And here's another page, and I added a crackle layer to it. There are no lines on it, but it's kind of like a pinkish color. And it's got pink flowers over here that to me resemble irises, but I'm not sure that's what they are. And here's some lavender. This page has a border with a cherry tree and a bird sitting in the cherry tree, and over here it's like a little runoff of a pond and some dragonflies. I added some blue shadowing to represent the sky, and it's a ledger sheet, which is, you can write on it, and it's on white paper. Here's a graph sheet, and this looks like apple blossoms with two little birds. I'm not sure if those were called white-breasted finch or what they were, but it's on a tan ledger sheet, and this is a book plate from the Graphics Fairy. It's green and tan. And here's another graphics page, a graph page with birds to me that resemble parakeets, but I'm not sure that they really are, and they're on the apple blossoms. And here's another bird on some. And my printer didn't like this sheet of paper, so when it pulled through, it didn't print the right colors, but I can work around this. It's my printer. It's not anything to do with the kit. Here's a sheet of eco-dyed paper, and it still has some of the flowers left on it. I couldn't get them off, so I left them. It's got a trim with dragonflies, little medallions on it, and looks like pieces of fern. And down here are some roses with some little bees that I added, and I did the crackle finish on this. Here's the back side, and you can see the blues from the, it was actually a purple flower, but I guess it picked up blue. And there's some leaves. And I did not dye the ephemera because I will probably end up gluing them to something. Anyway, so there's words: birds, bees, flowers, trees, honey, beehives, nature, nectar, and you can read the rest of them. Some more over here, and this is an envelope. You can either cut this out and stick something on the back side of this that shows through the window, or leave it and put one of these words or stamp your own word in there. The page of ephemera has a library card, and I put on it the birds, the bees, the flowers, and the trees with a little bluebird. And here's an envelope with that Japanese tree and some birds. There's a large honeybee on a yellow background, and here's 2 tags. This one's a type of bluebird on a apple tree or something. And here's a chart of bees. I'm sorry. Oh, please ignore those dogs. I don't know those bunnies out there. No, I can't pause my camera. There are a couple of, actually 3 pieces on here that I've reduced to use for journaling cards. There's this one with the bees with the lace. This one with the apple blossoms and the birds on the nest. This was a whole page. I'm using that for a writing sheet, I believe. This is not on anything in the kit, but I thought it was pretty. It's got the birds. And this is from one of the pages. It's got the birds with the notes and the lace and the library card. And the last page we have a large tag, and I used a rose that had a bird on it, and I added a piece of lace graphics. And this one is a relatively large tag, and it's got the lace graphics with the bluebirds. And here's another honeybee, a smaller one. And here's 4 little tags. These 2 are blank. This one has the honeycomb behind the bee. And this one says beehive with the beehive on it. And there's a bird. And this is a fairly good sized tag as well, with the picture of a beehive sitting on a table, which I'm sure it's probably got another technical name going to be beekeeping, you probably know. And I added the flowers at the bottom. Again, I apologize for the dogs. I hope you like this kit. It is listed in my Etsy shop, and I will be adding the links to this video for my Etsy shop and the Studio 28, the Journal Creations Facebook group. Thank you for watching.